Okay. Hi everyone. This is Ian Tsai. I'm a senior engineer of ZK, and it's glad to see everybody. So today I will guide you through a simple example of a demo website. We will implement it, and I will guide you through how to do this part, and I'll show you how to use ZK with JSP. Okay, and there will be a lot of other, very useful stuff that I will also introduce today. Okay, and sorry for my bad English, and this is our first webinar. So please feel free to give us any suggestions through email, or you can raise your hand and you just type in the chat out to tell me which part that you are not feeling good to it. Just tell me, okay? Feel free. This is a process, so today is our first step. We will try to go through this process to build a better webinar and videos in the future. Okay, so and after this webinar, we will mail you the materials that we use today, not just the not just the slides, but also the simple codes. Okay, so you will have it. Okay, and the video of this webinar will be published to YouTube about maybe next week or next week, according to our marketing team's schedule. Okay, so that's it. Before class start, is there anyone who has any questions or problems? Okay. If you are all good, then let's start. Okay. Let me repeat again. If you feel you want to ask a question, or there's some part that you are not quite understand, or if there's some part about technology that you are not understand, you can ask the question in the end, or you can just type the question in the dialogue, and I will answer it when we have enough time. Okay, but if we don't have, we will still mail you. I will still use email to answer your question. Okay, but try to ask the question about this example. Okay, because today this is not consulting or support. Okay, so today first we will talk about nowadays web application requirements. It will contain two parts. The first part is about static web page-based web programming. The second part is about dynamic web programming. Okay, and the dynamic part is about the Ajax part. And we will go through an example to walk through the whole every element and requirements that I listed. Okay, we will talk about this application's workbench structure. Okay, and we will start everything in the this application in a very simple JSP plain old JSP application. Okay, then we will add ZK into this JSP application, and and then we will start to do the dynamic part about how to interact, make this web page be more responsive and active. Okay, and I will also show you how to use the JSP in ZK. Okay, so the first topic of today is page-based web programming. Page-based web programming is the things that you already know, and you are very familiar with. Nowadays web application, we use a lot of JavaScript. we use a lot of dynamic HTML. This is a very old term, I know. We use a lot of dynamic HTML to do those effects. But using JavaScript to dynamic load content, or using a framework's provided rich component set to present the data, it's necessary, but it's not everything. Okay, you still need to know the basic and the most fundamental technology in the web, because these three reasons. Okay. Okay. The first reason is native HTML. Maybe this title is not good. I think I will change it. What I want to say is, nowadays browsers are changing faster than ever before. Okay. Today we have we have a lot of new features like HTML5, like CSS3, like a lot of new stuffs, and JavaScript is running faster and faster. We have Google V8, WebKit Nitro, and Mozilla TraceMonkey. This kind of JavaScript machine engine, and in today's browser, you can use new UI components plus events this kind of stuff being aided because they need to support some special devices like iPad or Zoom or something. Yeah. And nowadays browser also start to support something like offline storage, new ways to communicate to server like WebSocket, and even the 3D library and GPU direct support start to come true in browser world. Okay, so we can say the browser is changed so fast. It's almost impossible for a tool or a framework to catch this speed. Okay, so if you want to build the most state-of-the-art, if you want to make your web application state-of-the-art, always stand in the age of the technology, then you need to you still need to handle this kind of stuff. Yeah. So native HTML is still required and very important. Okay. And also, the fundamental part of native HTML is it allows you to do customization, because it allows you to do the highest customization. You can do CSS styling. You can construct a view through native HTML structure, and integration. You can use HTML objects. You can there's a lot of HTML objects, third-party JS library, and third-party views, and that you can use in your HTML. Okay. So even today I'm introduce you how to use ZK in JSP, but sometimes you may want to use jQuery UI, or you want to use EXT.js in your web application. Then okay, the way that you can do that is use native HTML. Okay, and then you try to find a way to to communicate, to build a channel, a communication channel between browser and ZK server. Okay, but that is another topic. Okay. The other reason of native HTML is SEO friendly. Google Crawler, I mean Google Robot, or any other, or Bing's robot, or any other search engine's robot, it's almost impossible for them to crawl a fully Ajax web application. I mean, if every meaningful context or content that you show up in your web application was being loaded through Ajax request, then it's almost impossible for Google or Bing to know what do you have in your web application. So that's why I think nowadays, in nowadays web application, this is a very important and main reason why we keep building our website through native HTML. Okay, and especially sometimes you need to do some URL decoration, and you want to do some utilization of your contents keyword. Okay, maybe for some important keywords you want to assign, you want to use header 1 or header 2 to emphasize it. Okay, something like that. The other important reason of why we keep why a native HTML, the page-based programming is important is stateless content. It's fast and simple. Okay, it's easy to design. There's no complicated life cycle. You don't have to know while page request what will happening, and while agents request what this component should do, or in some cases you need to avoid some pitfall or loopholes. There's no such complex stuff in pure HTML. You request and server gives you a response and browser render it. That's all. Okay, there's no complicated life cycle. And through a very simple dynamic page technology like ASP, JSP, PHP, basically they are very close to final HTML result. Okay, they are very close to final HTML result. You don't have to take care of what you wrote in your dynamic web page is what it will output. Okay, and it gets better performance. Okay, because there's no complex page processing need to perform. And if you design it in if it's just about content, then normally there's no session memory usage. Okay, so this is the good part of traditional web page programming. The other aspect in nowadays web application is desktop application programming, or I should say desktop application-like programming. Okay, in this topic it contains it grants you two benefits. The first one is rich widgets, and second one is a synchronous request ability. Okay. About richer widgets, the native HTML elements doesn't have some component, a very complex component composition like grid and list box. If you have some experience in ZK, then you know these are two major collection components in ZK. Okay, so you can compose your row, your list item, and it will support some special event like onSelect until let you select an entry. Okay, and in native HTML it doesn't support complex layout, and especially those dynamic layout like border layout and portal layout. Okay, you need to build this kind of stuff by your own through native HTML if you don't use any framework. Okay, and in native HTML it also like window. Okay, so basically in dynamic desktop application like programming, normally you need to build your application through a richer and a bit complex component. Okay, and these components are those HTML doesn't have. Okay, and the other part is about event composition. In HTML, there's it's all about mouse clicking, unclicking, and keystroke, something like that. But browser's event support is very basic and very native in or constructed. Okay. Basically, I can answer this question in a quick manner. We won't talk about how to build a ZK component today. Okay, because it's a big topic, and it's almost impossible to go through this topic in just 1 hour. So if you're interested in this part, I suggest you mail to us and talk about it. And I think we will try to arrange our time, and definitely if we will have more webinar in the future, we will have a topic about this one. Yeah, of course. Okay. The other one is like event composition, drag and drop. Okay, you can drag a component and drop it into other components. Okay, and something like timer event. Okay, if you don't use a framework to help you assist you about this part, you need to use JavaScript to create a timer or something. Okay, so in an application like web programming, we give you a richer widget set plus a richer event listening model. The other important topic is the main purpose of the core value of Aegis technology. That is asynchronous request ability. In this topic, we can categorize it into two categories. The first one is partial UI lazy load. Okay. Nowadays, web application is not just about content or information showed up. It's also about to operate an abstract model like an ERP systems front end or MI systems front end. Okay, so basically you're trying to manipulate and operate something. You try to trigger some action to do to perform your works, to perform some jobs. Okay, so in this case, the UI might be very complex. Just imagine you have insurance ticket or tracking system. It might contain thousands of fields about the conditions. Okay, so it's almost impossible to load all of them into the same page. Okay, so you need to and maybe for another example, you have contact list, which listed every company members, and maybe your company has 2,000 or 3,000 of employees, and it's also impossible to list all of them in one grid. Okay. So partial UI lazy load is important in this kind of situation. You need to use this technology to avoid loading everything from the server side. Okay. The other one is long operation handling. And long operation handling contains two types. The first one is blocking long operation. Imagine you have a registration form. When you click submit button, that means you want to submit this application. And in this kind of cases, normally user need to wait until the process finished. Okay, so we need to give client busy waiting process monitor or a progress bar to let the user know what's happening right now. Okay, that's what I said. A blocking I/O. During this period, user is still not being able to do any meaningful to perform any works, but the UI still responds to user what's happening right now. Okay. The other way is non-blocking long operation. Okay, it's like you have a web-based RSS reader. Okay, so you may want to add a new feed of your favorite RSS site. Okay, when it's pulling the data from the RSS website, it definitely will take a long time. So if this is a page-based web application, then you need to wait, because it will redirect you to another page, and during this time, the whole browser will hang there. Okay, but if you use Ajax, it can do this part in another thread, and after the data being fetched, it can just report it to you, and then you will see in the main content part, the data comes out. Okay. So this is the core value of Ajax technology, asynchronous request ability. So today, why we want to use JSP plus ZK? The reason of combining these two technologies are simple. First, JSP is well known to every JEE developers. Everybody used JSP before. If you have 1 or 2 years JEE application experience. Okay. And in some cases, page flow is still required in your application. For example, if you already have a web application, a system that uses Struts 2 for the page flow control, and now for some part of your application, you want to make it richer. You want to use some Ajax solution to make it richer, then ZK might be a good choice. Or if it's about productivity, I think ZK is the best choice. Okay. And both JSP and ZK are easy to train and find developer. Okay, because the Vue technology is borrowed from Swing, and the XML layout is just same as the Mozilla's Exul. Okay. And the other reason is it provides you a good separation of static and dynamic content. Okay, and I will show you this part later. Okay, so let's go to our today's example, an instant message board. Okay, maybe let's take a look at the real one. Okay, so this is what we plan to build today. This is an instant message board. Okay, and maybe I should give another browser. Okay. Now I click join button, and I will join to this message board. Okay, this should be. Oh, wrong. Okay. Okay. Now you see that I've joined into this message board, and you see here it's instantly showed up that there's a new user named ZK joined into this message board. And if I type anything here, even what I'm typing is an HTML, you see, it showed up. Yeah. So this is a simple example, and today I will go through this example of and show you how to construct a web application and how to do the design. Okay. And as you can see, the view of this instant message board is highly customized, and of course it's just composed by native HTML. I don't use any ZK components in this place. Yeah. and user can join and post new message, just like what I showed. Demonstrate. Okay. So according to the demo, this application contains these parts. Okay. Basically, I followed the application architecture is like this. First, we have a request, which is URL pattern in WebXML is like this. Okay, like this. I create a demo message board sublet, and I give sublet URL pattern like name index, and so it will redirect. It will so this message board sublet will be our handler. Will be our request handler, and we do some data preparation in DoGet. I'm sorry, DoPost. Anyway, they are the same. I did some data preparation in DoPost. What I did is I get the data from Message Board Manager. This part is about business model, so this part is not important. Okay. So basically, this part is pre-built business model for demonstration. I try to get an instance of this message board manager. If you are a fan of Spring or JBoss theme, you can use Spring or JBoss theme to deal with this manager. Okay. Yeah. And I try to get a message board from message board manager. Okay. So this is our message board. Okay. And then I try to get the lost message update date, lost attendees update date, and messages and attendees from message board. I store them into request. Okay, request attribute. Okay. And then I start a dispatcher and dispatch the request to messageboard.jsp. Okay, and here I have four static method. Okay, they ask request for as an argument, and I just return the the lost messages update date, lost attendees update date, messages, attendees, and through this method, if you give me a proper request, then I will just return them. Okay, I give this for method because static method because I don't like to expose this string outside of this class. Okay, so I like in the Java code part, every part who need to use these four elements, they should go over this method. Okay, so this is a very simple example. Let's go back to our slides. Okay, so in message board servlet, I prepare the data and I forward the request to our messageboard.jsp. In the messageboard.jsp, it contains 5 parts. Okay. The first part is about the static message content. This is our static message content. Okay, and this is the expansion area. Okay, expansion area. So expansion area is just below the static message content, and they use the same CSS settings, so they look extremely the same. Actually, they are the same. Okay, so. And at the button, there's a message board control, which can help you, which is the place where you can do the post. Here, this is the message board control. it contains text box, a post, and a clear button to let you post and clear the message. Okay. And there's a timer hidden in this message board control, but it's a timer, so you cannot see it. Okay. And the other part is a user button. You click it, and then you can join. It will open a join dialog to let you join into this message board. Okay. And the other part is the attendees control. This part. Okay. Basically, it's just a simple ZK grid to list. It listed the current attendees. Okay. So this is our system architecture. Quite simple. Okay. So let's start to take a look how I implement them. Okay. When you request this message board sublet, and after the data preparation, it will forward you to messageboard.jsp. So let's take a look at messageboard.jsp first. Basically, all the stylings and settings are stored in CSS. So if you want to take a look at how we do the decoration, please take a look at this file. Okay. In the content, there are three major parts. The first one is the header. Okay. It's just a simple header. The second one is the message board part, and the third one is the attendees part. Okay. By now, I just declared. I just used JSTL. And I showed. I get the messages from request scope. Okay, because if you put the messages, yes, I will send you the example after the webinar. Yeah. Yes. Here I just use JSTLs for each, and I give for each message in messages, I use JSP include to render a message. Okay, so let's take a look at how I do the message JSP. Okay, message JSP is also very simple. It's just div and paragraph and some ELs. Okay, and these ELs also try to get the data from request scope. Yeah, because at this place I use set. Okay, I set the message to variable message to the request scope. Okay, so that's it. This is a very simple JSP application, and because I already started. So now let's take a look at the result of this simple application. Okay. So it just looks like this. Okay. By now, it's still a very simple Java web application. There's no ZK. It's just simple servlet and JSP. And as you can see, I followed some Model 2 architecture to build it. Okay, very old school ways to build a web application. And now let's see how to add ZK into this world. So static content, I already go over this part. Now let's see how to use ZK in JSP. So first, I need to configure my web.xml and zk.xml. Okay. Oh shit. In the current application project, this is my message board. Inside, I just has a demo. In source code area, just has demo and demo model. Demo model is just just contains some mode data. Okay. In Web Content Live, I just contain JSTL required library. Okay, and there's no other stuff. So now I need to get settings. I need to configure ZK in this web application. First, let me stop this web application and copy necessary jar files from existing projects. Okay. You can get ZK's jar files from standard ZK binary distribution, or use Maven, or use any. Anyways, okay. Here I just prepared them in another view, and so now I just copy all of them into this library. And because I copy the jar files from a ZKE version, so yeah, there's a lot of jars. Actually, they are not all required. Maybe half of them, I don't need them. Okay, but anyway. And inside WebXML, I need to copy some ZK, settings. First, I need to have a listener about ZK's session cleanup, and then I need to have two sublet declaration, which is about DHTML layout sublet and AU engine. So okay, so this is the HTML layout sublet and update sublet. Okay, this is our AU engine, and this is our ZK loader. Okay, and then we need to provide sublet mapping. We already have our message board sublet. Now what I need to give is ZKAU and Zuul. Okay, map Zuul to ZK loader. ZHTML, if you don't have ZHTML in your application, then you don't need this. Okay, and ZKAU is used, it's used to handle every AGIS request, so definitely you need this one. Okay. So now we have our ZK settings in our web.xml, and we already have all of our jars in WebInflight. Now ZK is ready to go. And we also need to have our ZK.xml. And because the default setting is good enough, so I just copied a ZK.xml from an existing folder. As you can see here, it's almost nothing. Okay? It's almost nothing. You just actually, even you give an empty one, it still works. Okay. So now let's open our messageboard.jsp, and now we are good to use ZK in our JSP. If you are not sure, you contain the right jar files. Please check if you have zuul.jsp.jar in your library, because it's the ZK.JSP tag library. I mean, the ZK.JSP tag library is stored in this jar file, so you need to have this jar file. Okay, just double check it. Okay, so now what we should do in this messageboard.jsp. What we need to do is we need to give a tag library definition for a prefix, for a short prefix Z. Then we need to give a ZK head in HTML head part. Okay, this ZK head is used to generate every necessary ZK JavaScript JavaScript bundles and CSS bundles. Okay, so you just declare a tag in head. Okay. And in your body, HTML body, for every part you want to use a ZK component or something, you need to declare this stuff inside a ZK page. Okay, this page actually is an abstract concept. It's not a real object. Okay, sorry, it's not a real HTML element, so it won't generate any HTML outputs to your HTML page. So don't worry about it. But every ZK component need to be hosted by a page. So you need to declare page. So that's the structure. And let's see how we do it in our JSP. So now I will add the tag library of ZK. Okay. And after this line, I'm good to give a head declaration. Okay. Normally, I will give a ZK head declaration before any CSS or style settings. Okay, before because you know, when you give ZK, when you apply ZK to your JSP page, that means every ZK's style settings will be affected to your entire web page. So if you want to, you know, if some part you want to keep using your own settings, you need to put the ZK head before your settings. Okay, so then your style will override ZK setting. And now inside the body, I can start to use ZK. According to our architecture, I have set a static message content. I already done this part. It's done by Pure HTML, Pure Native JSP. And now I need to have an expansion area, message board control, and user button and attendees control. So let's create the skeleton of these 4 parts. Okay. For our expansion area, I just give a page declaration after our for each. This is our static content. And after that is our dynamic content. Okay. I will create a Java class. I will create a ZK div to handle the content of the expanded part. Okay. By now, I just hide this. Okay. And this is message board area. So after message board area, I want to have the post area, which is used to post a message. Okay. And this part, it's very dynamic. It's all about action. So I will implement it through another div, and there will be a timer. But by now, I also hide it. The last part is the attendees panel, the right block. Inside this area, I want to declare. I will implement attendees grid and a user button. Okay, and because they are side by each other, So I just give a big div. I just give a big div to contain all of them. So inside this div, I have a button, I have a grid. Okay, and this button is the join button. The grid is attendees grid. Okay, and also Okay. So this is our initial structure. Okay, till this point, if you have any question, please, type some text in the chat room. I will try to help you verify it. If you are okay, then I will continue. Okay, so basically, till this point, I declared first I give a static. Basically, use is, let's take a look at this one. Okay, this is a good question. Use means you want to extend this div. So if you use a demo.expansion area, which means that Java class in this place, I need to this expansion area need to extend zk's div. Okay, it needs to extend zk's div. So that means, use means for this div, you want to use a very special one, and that one is what do you, what do you created, what do you implemented. Okay, apply means you want to apply a controller or a composer to this component. Okay, so while zkparser parses this line, it will keep using the plain old zk div, but it will apply this class to this div instance. Okay, so this class will become this div's controller. Okay, and so if you take a look at this message board view control, it implicitly tells you that it will just handle the content of this div. Is that answer to your question? So use means you want to use something by yourself. Apply means you want to apply another control to an existing zk components instance. Okay. So I think this also shows you that it also showed up that how clean a zk application could be. Actually, the controller, they are all controllers, okay, or customized, highly customized components. They're all Java class. So every your code, every line of your actions or configurations could be hidden inside your Java code. No, I put it in common because they are not, I didn't declare them. I didn't have them right now yet, so I just put them in the common, because I want to test it first. Oh, sorry, I need to restart the server. Yeah. Okay, now you see the grid. You see the button. Okay, and so now we already use zk in a JSP page. Okay. So now let's continue. Okay. Okay, so now we already use zk in a JSP page. Let's see how we post a message into the how we implement the post area. Okay. To build the post area, first we need to create a message board view control. Okay. And inside this message board control, what we will do is we will declare something at this place. First, let me override the do of the compose. And inside do of the compose, I want to initialize the post area at this place. Okay. Post area is this place. Okay. On this part, I name it post area. Okay. So now I'll show you how to build a post area. I want to make this post area extend from div and make it implement ID space. Okay. So now I got my post area. And inside this place, I need to have three elements. That is a text box used to let you post a message. Okay, I name this one reply area. Okay. And there will be two buttons. The first one will be post button. Okay. So if you are familiar with generic for composer, you will start to think that this one looks really like a generic for composer. But today I will introduce you another technology to do the same thing, but using a component as a generic for composer. At this place, I give a default constructors implementation. And inside, I use execution create components rather than I use execution create components. Okay, and here I already have a post area.zool. Okay, so I just copy it. A post area.zool is something I already pre-designed. It's very simple. If you take a look at the post area.zool structure, it's just a text box with post button and clear button. Okay, and of course you can have the clear button. Okay. The post area.zool, after this line will start a ZK Zool parser to parse this Zool file and attach the parsing result to this component, and this is our post area. Okay, so after this line, this post area is a div, already contains some a text box and two buttons. Okay, so now I'm good to I need to wire this three stuff to this post area, just like a generic for composer. To wire the variables in ZK is very simple. You can use components. Wire variables. Okay. The first one requires a component. It will scan the child components under this component. Okay. And if it found the child components of this component has ID, it will catch them and bind them to the controller. Okay. Today, this post area is not just a component but also a controller. So I just give this. Okay. So if you take a look at post area control, here I have reply text area and reply text area. I have post button, post button. I have clear button, clear button. So these three stuff will be bind to this view. Okay. This is another way to do a ZK controller. Okay. Wire variables just take care of member fields wiring. To wire an event, you need to use components dot 84 words. Okay. But they are quite the same. I keep using this. Okay. After this line, this post area is almost done. Okay. And now what I need to do is while clicking, I need to get the data from reply text area. And I will assemble a message. I will construct a message. I will set content. Set create date. That will be today. Will be right now. Okay. And set the poster. Okay, it's user. By now we don't have. I prepared a user, a mock data in constant entie. Okay, so maybe I just use it. Okay, and after this step, I can get the message board manager. I can ask message board manager to post it. Get instance dot get message board. Okay. Dot 8. Okay. Okay. After that, I will clear the content. Sorry, I will clear the reply text area. And about the clear, I will just clear it. Yeah, I will give you. Actually, I will also give you the PDF of the slides. Yeah, so it's okay. Okay. So now we have our post area. And in our message board view control, we already declared. And now we need to attach it to our to our view. Okay, because I just constructed, but I need to attach it to our view. And in ZK, this part is very simple. You just set parent. Okay, and the parent is the component. Okay, if you're not sure what this component is, actually this component is the host component of this controller. Okay, so this component is this div. That's it. Okay, so what we're doing in this part is, while page request, page parsing lifecycle, ZK will construct a post area, and it will be attached to this component, and that component is this div. Okay, so that's the whole story. Okay, now let's take a look at the result. First, we need to restart the server. Oh, we don't have to. Good, good. Sorry, I forgot to save the JSP. Okay. Now we have our text area. We can type something, we can clear it, and we can post it. But unfortunately, there's because we don't do any, we just post a message into the model. Sorry, in our post area, I just add a message into the model, but I didn't refresh any expansion area and any content of the view. So there's nothing showed up here. If you want to see the post, you need to refresh the page. Okay, so let's see how to make this part happen. And not just this part, because we have another browser, and we also want it being noticed like this. We also want this part being noticed. Okay, so now let's see how to do this part. Okay, to do this part, we need to declare a timer. Okay, for each desktop. Okay, and that timer will keep checking if there's any newly added message, and if there is, then it will post it to the view, or it will update to the view. Okay, and today our instant message board model follow this logic to do the update. First, it will use a timestamp to identify if there are any changes. The timestamp is the stop that is the last message update date that I show you at this place. Okay. So at this place, in our message board view control, stop. Okay. What I will do is I will declare a timer. Maybe I should give a declaration here. Yeah. Okay. I will declare a timer. Okay, and I will initialize this timer. I will ask it repeat true. If you don't like to configure the timer in the controller, you can do it in messageboard.jsp. You can just configure it in the at this place. You can set repeat. repeats true. Configure the timer through this way or this way are the same. You just pick one. Yeah. Okay. I much prefer to initialize the timer in Java because it's more like a part of a controller. Okay. So I will give this delay of this timer. And in ZK, timer's delay is milliseconds. So let's say 2 seconds. And then I will ask it to start. Okay. Now I have a timer. I need to give event. I need to register event listening method to this timer. So what I will do is on timer. Okay. Now at this place, I can check. I can check if the page loadings update date is still same to if the current update date is similar to the newest update date. Okay. Anyway, I think I just show you how to do this. First, I need to have a date reference. That is our last message update. Okay. And if you still remember, we already stored last message update date in message board servlet while the request handling. Okay, so I will just get this last message update date and use it. So what I will do is I will call this servlet get last message update date. And it requires a request. Okay. And in ZK, every time you want to get the current request, you can call, especially in ZK's generic for composer, you can call executions. You can call execution dot. Sorry, I forgot the E. Dot get native request, and then you will get your request. Cased. Okay. So now I have my last update date. I initialized my last update message update date. Now I can check if my current my current last update date is still similar to the current one. Okay, to get the current one, I need to get the message board from message board manager. Okay. Because if you take a look at this place, message board, I can get the last messages update date from message board. So here I can do I do the same thing. But when I call message board.get last update message update means the newest update date. Okay. Okay. If they are equals means no one changes the the data in message board. If they are not equals, that means somebody changed it. Somebody posts a new post, or somebody update some part of the message board. Okay, so if something changed, what I will do is I will get messages. What I will do is I will ask the expansion area to do the update. Okay. If you still remember, expansion area is this part. Okay. I already created that class, and now I will show you how to implement it. I think post area are already good, so I think I just close it. Okay. Now, let's see how we deal with expansion area. In message board view control, I will try to get the instance of the expansion area, and I'll try to get it, and I will ask it to do the update. Okay. If I successfully, if there's no bad things happen, then I will update the last message update to the current update date. Okay. I think I need to catch this stuff. List. Okay. Okay, so I get the newest message update, and then I check if they are equals. If they are not equals, I will ask expansion area to do the update, or you can say refresh. Maybe I should use refresh. Okay, and after refresh, I will update the last message update. Okay, so that's the whole scenario. And if they are equals, then there's nothing happen. Okay, so now let's see how we implement this part. First, I have a method, static method, named getInstance. Okay, why use getInstance, a static method named getInstance? Because if you take a look at JSP, maybe I should enlarge it. This div and this message board, they're far to each other. So there's almost no way for me to communicate to each other. Okay. So the best way in this scenario to make them could communicate to each other is through ZK's desktop. Okay. So let's see how to make two parts of your view to communicate to each other through desktop. Okay. In the getInstance part, what I will do is I will get the current desktop. If you are already familiar with the programming in ZK, to get a desktop is quite simple. You get the current execution, and then you can get desktop. Okay. Now you already have a desktop. What I will do is I will just get the expansion area from the desktop's attribute. what I will do is I will get it through a key. Maybe I just name it key underscore expansion area. Okay, and I cast the result. Okay, now the problem is where I do the set, where I set an expansion areas instance into the desktop. Yeah, where I put it into the desktop. Okay, very simple. You just put it while construction. So I will put well expansion areas construction. I will set attribute. Okay, the key will be this the same string, and the value will be this. Okay, so actually what I've done here is, because I know for this message for the parsing result of this messageboard.jsp, it will contains both expansion area and messageboard view control. They're all contained by the same desktop. Okay, this view. Okay, so if I want to make them to communicate each other, I can use desktop as some kind of shared data area. Okay, so I put the expansion area as a named attribute inside desktop, and I give a proper static method to let our message board view control be able to get it back. Okay, because I'm quite sure a message board view control must cite by expansion area. Okay, a message board view control must cite by expansion area, so I can just get it. Yeah, and no matter how many structures, how complex the structures between these two, you can imagine here I have another window, I have another tab box, and this DIB being put inside all of them. There's maybe 10 levels nested structure. It still works. Okay, it still works. So here what I need to do is I just create the method refresh. And inside the refresh, what I will do is give a proper implementation to show up this part. Okay. So in expansion area, I already got you the first design pattern that I want to introduce you. The design pattern I want to introduce you today. That is scope singleton pattern. I declare a desktop attribute with specific name. I give a static getInstance method of this class. Then I can get the instance from current desktop by name. Okay. Now let's see how I do the refresh method. I renamed it. I think refresh is better than update. Okay. So inside the refresh method, first I need to get the newest messages from message board manager. So I think I just copied this part. Yeah. This is our newest messages. Okay. And then I will have an array list. Which is the delta. which is the delta that I prepared for the expansion area. Okay. And the delta will be used to, the delta will, I will use collections remove all to remove the old the existing messages that I present in the static area. Okay. And that means I need to get these exist messages from our sublet. Okay. I render the static message content by calling this method by this data, message data. So I need a place to in expansion area to keep the record. To let expansion area knows, okay, this exist messages are already rendered by static part, so you should only take care of the other part. Okay. So I will create a field named exist messages, which type is message. Okay. And in the constructor, I will get the message from request, because I know this expansion area will use by message board while page parsing. So at this point, if you get the current execution .get native request, you will get the same request which requires this JSP page. Okay, so this place, what I will do is I will use message sublet dot get message case argument. Or maybe I should case it at this place. Okay. Okay. So now I got my delta. I can, for each entries in delta and render them in the expansion area. So for each message in delta, what I will do is I will post a message. Okay. And then I need to implement a private message method. And inside this place, if we review our message board.jsp, we rendered each message by a JSP include. Okay. And this is a message.jsp. And now at this place, I will use zk include to handle, I will use zk include to include the JSP. Okay. So in JSP plus zk web application, you cannot just use JSP zk in JSP, but you can also use JSP in zk. Okay. So what I will do is I will create an include. I'll create a zk include. And this place, I will set src. The SRC will be same to this page. Okay, so I will just copy it and use it. Okay. And if you still remember here, we set a request attribute to the message. We set a request attribute to the message. So here we need to do the same thing. We need to in ZK we can use set dynamic property. The name will be message. The value will be our message that we passed in. Okay. And after this, I just ask this include to set parent. Don't forget this expansion area is also a div, so I can just ask it to append to this. Okay, so this is our post method. And after post, the exist messages will become the current newest message. Okay, so I just asked it. I just set the reference, update the reference to the newest one. Okay, so this is our refresh. This is our instant message board. Okay, let's take a look at the result, see how it works. Okay, but first I think I need to restart the server. Expansion area, message board view control. Okay, great. And restart the server. Okay. So now we have our message board, instant message board. Now this time, if I type anything here, if I post it, you'll see it showed up. Okay. So I think actually I think that the material that I prepared is way too much. So I think I stop by here, and there's still a lot of stuff like how to build a join dialog, how to do the attendance control, and how to use ZK event queue. Okay, I will send you the entire material. Okay, but right now I think I want to do the Q&A stuff to see if you have any questions or you have any parts that you want to ask. Yeah. Actually, sorry, the material that I prepared is for 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm sorry for the So, is there any questions? Yes, yes, that's the strategy that I use. If you it's okay. You can give me you can post a chat. You can, yeah. I think it's so. I think no, because They are still, this is just a normal ZK include, and the target it includes is just JSP. So I think the structure are quite simple. I don't. By now, I'm not able to imagine if there's any problems that might occur, or if you have any concern, you can type, or you can speak. Okay. About using a delay. Here, this part. Yes, of course. Actually, that's the part that I think about this part for quite a long time. I mean, it's a bit struggling me. Should I use server push to demonstrate this part, or I should use timer to demonstrate this part? Actually, I found both are okay. Both are okay. Yeah, but if you're using server push, that means you need to start another working thread for the data manipulation and processing. And because the materials that I prepared are already big enough, and if I introduce server push, it will be much more complex. So finally, I decided I just use a timer. Yeah, but actually, to me, they are the same. Yeah. Actually, I think I shouldn't say same. I should say quite similar. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, this is our first webinar, and it looks like the material that I prepared are way too much. So I will just leave the slides and the material to you. I already give enough instruction in my code, so I think it's okay. You can read them. If you find any problems, or if there's some part that you are not quite understand, just feel free to mail the question to me. I will answer. Yeah. Okay. So if you are good for the demo, this demo application, let's jump to the conclusion. Okay. So go through this demo. What I introduce you is first how to use ZK in JSP. Okay, I already guide you through the whole process. You copy the jar library from a ZKE version or ZKP or ZKCE into your library, and then you do some configuration in your WebXML and ZK.XML, and then you are good to go. You can declare ZK tag library in your JSP page and start to use ZK in your JSP. Okay. And how to use JSP in ZK? This part is much easier. That is, you just simply include it. Okay, just simply include it, and you can use that dynamic property to give a request scope attribute to your as a context for the JSP content. Okay, and send back events to JSP from ZK. Because the generated result of JSP is a static one, right? So I don't get your point, because if it's static, there's nothing can be changed in the content of JSP. If what you mean is that JSP is another JSP which uses ZK, then they are in different page, but they are still in the same desktop. So you can use the design pattern that I introduced you, scope singleton, to let them talk. Okay. So event listening model, I guide you through the event in ZK's generic for composer how to use event and how it looks like. Okay, and I guide you through the design pattern of composite component. I use this concept to build our expansion area, our expansion area, and our post area, Okay, basically, composite component. The concept of composite component is you make a component become a controller, a view controller. The way to do that is very simple. You use a Zuul to do the content layout and the content declaration, and use executions create components to do it. And then you use wire variables and 84 words to make the member fields of this controller to make the member fields of this controller of this component of this controller and the events. Just bind them. Okay, use these two methods to bind fields and methods. Okay, fields to components ID, methods to component event listening methods. Okay, and scope singleton. Actually, I showed you two types of scope singleton. The first one is our beloved message board servlet. Okay, actually this is also some kind of scope singleton. In this case, the scope is request. Okay, if we are at the same request, then the last message update date must be that one. There's only one last message update date, and this is the one. Okay, so this is our first scope singleton. It helps you cross the life cycle of the current process. Okay, the second type of scope singleton is this one. Because I'm quite sure the other views or the other controls who want to interact with me, or who want to cooperate with me, we must in the same desktop. So I use desktop as a channel. I put myself into the desktop as a name attribute, and I provide a static method. And if we are at the same desktop, and we use the same key, you should be able to get me back. Okay, so this technique is used to help you cross the geometry. Okay, no matter how many components, even you use include or you use any other kinds of page layout technology, if you just need to make sure one thing, that they are all in the same desktop or in the same scope. Okay, then they can share the instance to each other. Okay, so the first type can help you cross the duration, life cycle, time. It's request. It's based on request. The second one can help you cross the structure, the component tree. Okay, both are very useful, depends on which case that you're facing. Okay. Actually, there's the other one is about ZK event queue, but that part looks like I don't have enough time to introduce it. Okay. If this is 3 hours events, then I will introduce you how to build this user manager. Okay, and inside this place, I will show you a good example of how to use ZK event queues. Okay, this is the second type of ZK event listening model. The first type is components event listener, and the second one is ZK's event queue. Both are very powerful and useful. Okay, components event queue can help you communicate, can help you do some responses through UI. Okay, it's all about the UI. Normally, you should use it just about the UI part. Okay, and event queues, ZK event queues can help you cross the entire workbench. Okay, actually, you can use this one to replace the second type of scope singleton. Okay, the one that I use to cross the geometry. I use desktop, that one. Okay, you can use the second type. You can use ZK event queues to do that part. Okay, so okay, so that's today's presentation webinar, and that's our technology review. Is there any questions? Okay. Okay, I think that's our